Good morning. This is Tuesday, April 7, and this is the seventh day of our online presentations. Today we are covering Algebra 2 Skills E1 and E2. E1 is evaluating systems of equations, and as it says here, I will be able to evaluate two equations by a proposed solution to determine whether they are systems. And E2 is systems of equations. I will be able to solve systems of equations by graphing. Okay? All right, and so I want you to again remember that your goal is to get a score of 85. And I just want to remind you that today is the day that the district will be meeting on grades this evening at their council meeting. So we will know more about that tomorrow, and then of course this becomes extremely important because now we'll be going live, if you will. You're going to be getting grades based upon whatever it is that the board says that we're going to be doing. So I will be talking to you about that when I contact you again tomorrow. And I will probably also talk about it on Friday when I do my online office hour, really half hour. And if you have any questions, you can ask me those directly. Okay, so again, I want to remind you, we are doing online work. You must show your work, because if you don't, as you know, these problems get progressively more difficult, and as they do, it requires that you use paper, and also that you may need to use a graphing calculator or some kind of calculator to do this work. And of course, remember, if you have the plastic sheet and you have a nice dry erase marker, you could go ahead and do your work on any given problem, and then take a rag and wipe it away, and you're ready to start your next problem. So I'm going to keep showing this to you, I know, until you're blue in the face. Maybe one of these days I will stop, but we tend to get new students from time to time, so I will be revisiting this part always, probably, if not most times. Okay, so our first example, example 1, we want to know if the ordered pair 2, 6 is a solution to this system of equations. And so you've got to remember that 2 is going to be your x, and 6 is going to be your y. And so your job is going to be to plug those values in to find out what the solution is. So, and then you want to remember that a point is a solution if it makes the results true. So we'll say if it makes the system true. All right. So we're going to determine, do these two coordinates, x and y, when plugged into these two equations, make the system true or not, yes or no? And then at the bottom, you will see there will be a place for you to click yes or no. All right? Okay, so let's write the first one down and see what happens. So I'm going to write 14, and then in place of the x, I'm going to put the 2. So 14 times 2, and let's see here, plus 7 times y, and y, of course, is 6, equals 18. All right, now again, if you need to use your calculator, and you can just simply multiply, turn this thing on, make sure we cleared it. 14 times 2 equals 28. So you'll go ahead and you'll put 28 in. And 7 times 6, many of you will remember that it's 42, but you can plug it into the graphing calculator if you wish. So we'll put down 42. And according to this, it should equal, let me make that black, equal 18. Well, you can probably guess looking at these that they don't. Let's see, we had 28 in here already. So 28 plus 42, you can see it, that's 70. So obviously, this is wrong. So you've got 70, and 70 does not equal 18. So the conclusion you make is, since the proposed solution does not make the A equation true, because this is equation A. We're going to call this equation A, equation B. There we go. So since the proposed solution does not make equation A true, stop. Stop. You don't need to go any further. You've already proven that the ordered pair here does not make the first equation true. And you, again, the whole thing is that you've got to prove that the point makes the whole system true. Well, if the first equation isn't true, then the whole system is not true. So you've already proven. So click no. Okay, because 2, 6, that ordered pair, is not a solution to the system of equations. Now, you got off easy with this particular problem because the first equation turned out to be not true when we put these this ordered pair in and evaluated. And so since that's the case, you could stop, as I said over here. But sometimes you're going to find out that it does make the first equation true, but it makes the second equation false. And if that's the case, then again, your result is the same. You stop at the end of doing both of them, and you determine that no, it doesn't make, the ordered pair does not make the solution to the system of equations true. And so you've got to go through, and only as far as it takes to figure out that one of these equations is not going to be true, and then you can stop and say it's not. Otherwise, when you get through it, if everything is true, then you say, yep, it's a system. And that means you put a yes in there. Okay? All right. Let's move on then. And we're going to go to our other example, one for solving a system of equations by graphing. So you're going to first graph the equations and then type the solution. Here are the two equations, and again, I list them as A and B equations. So you've got y equals 4x minus 2 and y equals 2x minus 4. Now, you may have noticed this, but take a look at them. What do they remind you of? Well, isn't this your slope? And isn't this your b, or your y-intercept? So it's the same over here. This is, isn't it your slope? And isn't this your b, or y-intercept? So these two equations are in the form of y equals m times x plus b. Let's not put that in there, just m times x plus b. I'll rewrite it. Y equals mx plus b. That's what we call the slope-intercept form, and of course this is the slope, and this is the y-intercept. Right? Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to first click the green box below. So I'm going to write that. Let me just do this. And so we're going to click the green box below. So when I do that, means I just literally take my cursor and click on it. Then what happens is that you see this little tracking, sort of a funny little mark here. This moves around. So when you move after you've clicked the green box, you can move this around, and it will go wherever you want to go. So what you want to do is you want to click. So move your cursor over and click on 0, 2. Now why 0, 2? Well, I'm sorry, 0, negative 2. Negative 2. Why? Because the y-intercept is at negative 2. So 0, negative 2. Where is that? I go over here. Here's x0. Here is y is negative 2. I would click that point that I just made there. Okay, and then after I do that, you'll see a line will appear, and it'll move around as your cursor moves around. But you want to use the slope, and the slope is 4. So you're going to move your cursor from the first point, the y-intercept, up 4 and to the right 1 unit. And then you're going to click again. So here's my first point, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1 unit, and I'm going to put my second point there. Once I click on that second point, then what's going to happen is that that a line is going to appear. Now, since you clicked the green button below before you did this work, then you're going to find out that that line is going to stay after you release the button. So now you've got your first line. Now that should be, I've got red, but unfortunately I don't have a color to show it green. So now I'm going to go and click on the purple box below. So I'm going to click on the purple box, and then I'm going to click on, okay, I want the y-intercept for B, so that would be negative 4, would be the B, so click on 0, negative 4. And remember, in each of these cases, these are x and y coordinates. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on 0, -4. So x is 0, y is -4. That's down here. Okay. Then I'm going to move my cursor up 2 and to the right 1 because my slope is 2 here. So move your cursor let's see how you spell cursor. Oh. Up 1, up 4, I'm sorry, up 2, that's 2, and to the right 1. Okay. And then, of course, click again. And when you do that, I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. I'm going to have my next point over here. So now I've got the two solutions there. And let's see, -4, yep. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my line. And then if you'll notice, the line seems to cross at where x is -1 and y is -6. So because that's the case, then I know that the solution is going to be at x is -1, y is -6. So your solution is where the lines cross at -1, -6. So I go down to the box at the bottom and I write in as -1, y is -6. And then I've done everything I'm supposed to do. Okay, so that is it. Problems get successively more complicated. Make sure, particularly when you're doing the first set of problems on evaluating these problems, that you use your graphing calculator again. Don't forget to use that. Yes, you could use your graphing calculator to come up with these solutions. I don't want you to do that because I want you to see how they work. So please do them manually. If you do them the other way, then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. I know that I can't stop you from doing that, but I'm going to tell you that you will retain this and you will do much better with it if you do this manually. Okay? There will be other areas where absolutely the graphing calculator won't help you any more than what it should help you on. Okay? All right, so that's it. Again, you've got everything you need to do to work today. Make sure that you do this, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.